Welcome back, everybody, to Thanks for Your Concern. You're here with Ella.
And I'm Bernice. Woo!
Woo! Bernice!
Well, I just want to start off by saying happy birthday. She's a birthday girl.
Ooh,
How you feeling?
29 never felt so good. I'm feeling great. So it is my birthday. I love a good birthday. Today, I'll just do like my little update because it's like a birthday update.
Mhm.
For all of our astrologers out there, the July 17th was like the start of the Cancer moon, which is like a symbol of new beginnings. Yesterday
Yes.
had like a breakthrough in therapy, did some shadow work, okay? And then today's my birthday.
Oof.
Babes, you know what? Come back to me with the next Cancer moon, which is going to be December 17th. I think everything is going to be better and different. I'm already on the
Full
up and up,
circle.
so I just feel like we're having a beginning of a full circle moment. I'm so hyped, y'all. You guys know I'm going to T-Swifty. I'm going to Taylor Swift this weekend for my birthday. I'm
Woo!
gonna get some fun dinner. I'm just gonna enjoy. The clock is now kind of ticking for 30, like I have 35, 365 days of being 20. I'm actually kind of excited to cap off this era with like some stability and
Mm.
joy and then go into my next era. So I'm not saying I'm ready to be 30, but I'm kind of ready for the 20s to end so that I could be like, oh my God, I was crazy back then in my 20s, so that it's like, it seems way longer than it was,
Yeah. No, you're ready. It's like the epitome of the last summer, but it's like the last 20.
Yeah, it's the last summer of the last
The
20.
last 20. So whatever you want to tuck in that you did in your 20s, like as an excuse, like, oh, I was just like in my 20s. Like this is the time.
Okay, I think I'm gonna jump out an airplane in my 20s. I think I'm gonna go to Thailand in my 20s. So
Woo!
I only got a little bit of time, so I better
Full
get some stuff
schedule.
in.
Yeah.
But how are you? Enough of me.
Enough of you. No, this is your day. Really excited to hear about your birthday plans. Over here in this side of the sphere, I do get that Cancer moon feeling of new beginnings. I think I today was rough. My uncle passed away a few days ago.
Yeah.
And then he was in Mexico. Obviously, my green card has not yet arrived. My green card's actually lost in the mail. So I had to file a bunch of paperwork, get to the immigration offices in New York. But things just in Mexico move really quickly. So, his funeral was yesterday, which I unfortunately missed. And, it's really difficult to see like your family members like go through something and you not
Mm-hmm.
being able to physically be there. I also realized like there's a trauma response I didn't know I had where I literally just saw it today. It's called just getting to know myself day by day. It's just like a free I just froze. I just like I knew that the situation was bad and I literally felt paralyzed, like I didn't know what to do. Yeah, it was a weird, really strange feeling, and I couldn't really sleep last night. I knew I had like an appointment. They could be appointments as early as like 7:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know where it was. Like all these things I had to like do. So at like 6 in the morning, I was like, well, I didn't sleep. Like let's just go to the immigration office now. And I just started sobbing uncontrollably on the train. Like, I don't know what it is about the subway, but like, that is my place to cry at. Like, uncontrollably. 6 in the morning, the train is full, like packed. I'm standing up,
Yeah.
like hugging a pole, just sobbing with all these strangers, just like pretending to not notice me, which I like, thank you. You know what I mean?
Appreciate.
I did not want to be bothered. I just wanted to cry alone. With all my new friends from the train. Yeah, and the immigration offices, I had never been to the New York ones. Like, other states have less immigrants, therefore their immigration offices look really different. No, this was a frenzy. Like, I don't think I have felt this level of stress. Like, they were treating people like farm animals. Like, I shit you not. Like move over. Like very firmly
Mm-hmm.
and talking to everyone like they were incompetent because obviously it's a lot of brown people and they don't speak the language because they're immigrants. Like that is the what the building is there for. And instead of like being helpful, maybe getting, I don't know, workers that speak different languages, signage in other languages, like it just felt like no, like I don't know, it was just like the bare fucking minimum nobody gave a fuck. And obviously I get that, but at the same time, like immigration processes are not cheap. Okay, like having gone through some, you do have to pay for those. It's a good chunk of cash. Like I believe that it is a little bit part of the economy. Like maybe let's, some give. I left that feeling absolutely useless and awful, but when I was getting back on the train, there was like a father and son like waiting for the train, and they asked me to take a picture of them with like their little packet from there. And they were really happy. And I was just like, "It's a good day?" And they said yes. And I was just like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna keep this moment. I'm just glad they're having a good day. But yeah, like I don't know. I'm all over the place. Obviously, like love my uncle. Wish I could have spent more time with him. But life be lifin'. You know what I mean?
Oh,
life
yeah.
be lifin', baby.
The definition of life is that it be lifin'.
Yeah. And that's actually what we're going to talk about today.
Hell yeah, we're going to talk about that today. Yeah, my heart goes out to you. I had a loss in my family too, and things have been strange is probably the word that I feel, because there's just a lot with life being life, and there's a lot going on all the time. And today we're going to talk about some of that stuff. And I actually am excited for the episode. I'm excited to spend my birthday part of it being here and recording the podcast. So, are we ready to get into the episode?
Let's get it.
All right, you guys. So when we talk about life being lifin', obviously it's just like life is what it is. It keeps on going. The wheels keep on turning, and sometimes you feel like a butterfly being crushed by the wheel. I know that's a quote from something, but I don't know what it is. And one thing I wanted to talk about is that like sometimes you just have to like laugh at yourself. And maybe there's like some comedy in the chaos. I will tell you something that happened to me recently. I have just been feeling a certain type of way because, I lost a family member, and I'm just kind of dealing with what that is for me, and also just obviously other people in my family. And I was like, you know what? Let's take a walk. I'm going to play my Pokemon Go. You guys know I'm a Pokemon Go girly. And I honestly don't even know if I would tell this story, but one of the best places to play Pokemon Go is in this graveyard. Okay, it's a really big graveyard, so it's like a graveyard on a city street, if that makes sense. So it's not. Anyways, there's a lot of Pokestops in there. Whatever. I'm in the graveyard. I'm walking. I'm thinking about life. I have a woman pull over, and she's like, "Hey, can you take a picture of me with my husband's gravestone?" And I was like, of course.
Yeah.
And then we had like a nice little chit chat, 15-minute chit chat. And I just was like, kind of had a laugh about it, because I was like, you know what? I kind of wanted some alone time, but instead I ran into somebody and got her whole life story. And we love that.
Okay.
And this was funny. It was funny. But I think a lot of life moments, like you can either just be like, oh my God, what's going on? Or you can figure out the comedy in it.
100%. 100%. There's a lot of comedy in life. I think that you can look at situations. It's all about perspective, and you can look at situations like, wow, shit after shit after shit, or you can be like, of course, like there's more coming. Like, why wouldn't there be more? And I would say I try to find comedy in all situations. Sometimes, like, people think I'm mentally not well because, like, I'll tell back a story, like, laughing about it, but they're like, wow, like, it was so bad that the only thing you can really do is laugh about it. And I'm like, you get it.
Yeah.
If anything, this is just part of your true life story, and I think Ella's the one who actually told me this, and we've said it before, like way earlier in the podcast. But like, it was just like it's just part of your true life story. Like if you had a documentary, and we always think about like the Stevie Aoki documentary where he like talks about all this stuff that like these like crazy things that happened to him to let him up to like be the person who he and the DJ he is. And I was just like, you know what, you're right. This is all part of your true life story, and it really is about like kind of how you rally from it. Because I feel like life is going to throw so many things at you. That's just what life is supposed to do. There is birth, and then there's death, and then there's a lot of fucking shit in between. And with the shit that's in between, you can choose to deal with it really productively, or you can choose to lie in a pile of shit for as long as you can before you start getting moved and real uncomfortable, and decomposition begins.
And I know you can think of life as like this is a part of your documentary. I was also thinking about, you know, that Always Sunny episode when they're talking about their second act. Like, this is like, oh, that was just the, you know, this is the start of my second act. And Dennis is like, no, like, you've been in your second act. Like, this is the finale. Like, there's nothing left for you. And I was thinking about that with me turning 29. And I'm like, dude, I can decide what part of the story this is for me, and how you want to frame it, right? If something bad happens to you, you can say, this could be in the prologue, this could be at the middle, you know, like, you don't have to even include some of the life's bad stuff in your story if you don't really want to, right? Like, you can kind of see how you want to frame an event in your mind, whether this is going to just be a blip of time, we're going to be, I don't know, like the prefaces of something changing. Like, you kind of get to decide and have the choice of how you want to deal with these things in life.
That's true.
Being the author of your own story.
Being the author of your own story. Sometimes you gotta switch up the side characters. Sometimes even the main characters gotta get switched up. And I don't feel like the saying, like, life is unfair. Yeah, life is not, I don't think life is meant to be fair. Life is gonna throw things at you, and you gotta kind of accept that it is what it is. And sometimes like that is really hard, because I think you can be like, how is this fair? Like, I've worked so hard, and like shit situations are still fucking happening, and it's so frustrating to get to that point. But I think one of the biggest things for me is like making peace with the reality of the situation. I have been in a lot of situations where I physically can't be in places I want to be, whether it came to, I don't know, like even people going away for like school trips where they got to go to Italy, people were starting abroad, people were, you know, family members were dropping dead, and I couldn't do the things that other people could do. And I think that can cause a little bit of like cynical and bitterness. I definitely have been there. Getting to accept the fact that you can't do those things earlier on, I think does help the situation. I know that it's really frustrating, and it's easier said than done, because I have literally done it. But also understanding that like your feelings as not being able to do something are super valid, and being able to like sit with yourself and being like, yes, it is what it is, but this also sucks, and I can give it a moment to really fucking suck right now. And give yourself like a day, a few days, but after that, like say, okay, what is something that I can do to make maybe not the situation better, but to rally from this? Because sometimes you can't change situations, but you can certainly think about the future, right? Like right now, I think I'm in a place where like there's so many things I wish I could have done, but what can I do now moving forward? Since like obviously like family members' death and certain difficult situations, there's still things that you can do that are going to just set you up for the future.
There's like radical acceptance of like the term. My dad used to say this a lot, and he used to drive me crazy, but it is what it is, because sometimes you have to accept that things just are the way that they are. And there are things that you can control, and then there's the things that you cannot control, and you can't control them no matter what. And I think I've found a lot that even if I do think I'm controlling something, it's kind of a false sense of control. I'm not actually totally in control. I don't know. I just sometimes have a couple tendencies where I'm like, I want it done exactly this way because I don't want anything bad to happen. And if it isn't done this way, then something bad's going to happen and I get anxiety over the thing. That's just really a false sense of control and a way of like avoiding the fear I have. And it really doesn't work. Like you can hold on to things really tightly, but we can't control things. Like no matter what I do, some of my fears of like losing a loved one or running out of time in my life, like that is just something that it is what it is. There's nothing I can do to control that. And I'll put a book that I read, it's literally called Radical Acceptance, that I really appreciated because it kind of framed some of these things that I do in my life in order to seek control and in order to like make life better fit in a box and better, I don't know, just made me feel like I'm in control when I'm really not. There's a lot of things I cannot control no matter what.
Yeah, and I think also this comes in like relationships. Sometimes you just have to accept that like the situation is not going to get better if you are in a bad relationship. Say you're dating a liar. Babes, he's a liar. You gotta accept that, and you have to either become one with the fact that he's gonna lie to you forever and you're just okay with that, or also accept the fact that you're not okay with that and you don't want that for yourself. And see the situation as it is. I think sometimes we really get hooked on the potential of a situation rather than the actual situation. So accepting the things for what they are, I think, is the first step to thinking, is this something that I want to be part of? And I think with just like dealing with things in general and accepting things as they are, people cope really differently to different situations. And I know like this week, I love my roommates. They knew I was not doing well, and then they're like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "Honestly, I would really love to stress eat right now. Like, I never like, I'm not a big binger. I don't eat a lot in period in general because I don't cook. But I was just like, today, I haven't been to the gym in a week. I just want to eat. I want to eat my feelings, and honestly, that's it. I don't have any other thoughts. I don't have emotions. I'm numb, but I have the biggest knot in my stomach, and I could really use some pizza, some sushi, some ceviche, all of it at the same time. And then they're like, we can do that. And not that I need male validation, but I have been like talking to somebody, and I was just like, I feel like I should go to the gym to be productive and like kind of get my mood up. But I like kind of told him like the same thing, like all I want to do is this. And he's like, I think like you can just do that.
Yeah.
And I was, not that I need male validation or anything, but like it was nice for me to hear people be like, you can just do that. Like you don't have to feel ashamed that like your response isn't like perfect or a certain way to something that like you couldn't control what was going to happen, and you can't control exactly how you're feeling right now. Like this is not the worst thing you could do. You know what I mean? Even when we were out, people were like, "Do you want to drink? Do you want to smoke?" And I was like, "No, I, I don't, I don't want to do those things. I want to clear. I want to raw dog this emotion. Okay, Oof. Like we are not." We are not numbing ourselves extra here. Like, I already feel like I can't feel anything. So, like, let me not become, like, the worst version of myself when I'm dealing with life. So that's been a step of growth.
I love that. We definitely can, like, control how we react to things. And I heard this thing in therapy. I've been going to intensive therapy, y'all, so that's why I've been talking about therapy
if you
so
hear
much.
It. Can you tell?
Yeah, literally, like never talked about therapy this much in my life. But that sometimes we equate easy with simple. Like the solution can be simple, but that does not make it easy. The kind of example is that like running a marathon is simple. It's like left foot, right foot for 26 point whatever miles, but that's not easy, right? So there is always a solution to your problem, but it's not always easy, okay? And I don't know, I always feel like weigh your options before you make a decision. Think about the potential solutions, and sometimes it is just sitting there and feeling your feels. And sometimes that is not fun. That is not something easy. And some people have a much harder time than that than others. I've been feeling a little crazy because I've been like giving myself time, like scheduling time to feel like sadness and just being like, you know what, girl, if you need to cry for 15 minutes, that is a-okay. And I kind of feel like the Grinch who stole Christmas when he's like talking about like wallowing in self-pity. I cannot voice that again, you know, dinner with myself. But like I literally feel like
it is scheduled.
Yeah.
Just in case.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I don't want to sit in sadness for a really long time, so I set a 15-minute timer. And guess what? I literally usually get over it before the timer is up. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm happy that I let myself feel sad for 8.5 minutes. And now I can like go about my day instead of being like, I refuse to feel sad. I refuse to feel bad about this thing. I refuse. And I kind of like, I usually go one or two ways, which is go so depths into the sadness where I'm like wallowing in my room, blinds closed, or the other one where I'm out and about and I don't even have time to feel things because I'm so busy. So I'm trying to find a little bit of a medium in between where I allow myself to like feel negative emotions but not sit in it forever.
And I've said this before, but one of the things I like to do when I'm like feeling really anxious or just like an emotion that's like really overwhelming, I like to like either write it out or draw it out, and it doesn't have to make sense. Like that's the thing, like anything that comes to your brain, just like get it out. Like, and with the more that you get it out, honestly, like the sob just kind of comes on.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you really trigger that, I also have like a playlist, and I would say I call it my art playlist, but it's also like my safe space playlist that I like to something about that playlist just like immediately like my guard is down. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, we're okay. We're putting ourselves in kind of like a mental place where we can let go of whatever we got bottled up. So whatever that environment is to make you comfortable to just like let your guard down and let yourself like process emotions, do that. And
You know,
just get it out.
I've been like healing my young 20s self by listening to like EDM sets like during the era, like literally like 2015 EDM sets. And
those are good.
Yeah, no, good stuff. Like things when like literally like the next rave was the only thing keeping me going, you know? And I listened to that. I'm like, oh my God, I remember when I listened to this Jaws set and I was really, really, or, you know, and I was really, really sad and the music was making me cry, but it was happy tears that I got to be a part about this. And then now I'm just in a different place. So I listen to this music and I'm like, oh God, thank God we're doing a little bit better. And I just kind of wanted to say that like sometimes like without the lows, there would be no highs. You know, like we can't always, like if we were always at a high, then we couldn't even experience it because we have nothing to compare it to, right? So, you know, sometimes we have to move through the lows to experience the highs. So it's not always like, obviously, there's just bad things that happen, but you'll get through it just one foot in front of the other.
But life is so precious, y'all. Like, yes.
Yeah.
Life be sucking sometimes. You know, I'm full Tumblr girl. I wanted to die when I was younger, like that whole vibe. But but there's so many things about life that are so fucking beautiful.
Yep.
And like you really have to hold on to those. And even when you look back and you're like, it can really be anything. It can be you sitting in a room with your family, like laughing, telling a story. Like that is a moment that when shit gets rough, that's a moment you're gonna look back in and be like, that was a beautiful moment. So really treasure all the positive things that you have in your life and cut out all the bullshit, because one thing about this whole like overwhelming situation that I had just been part of that I didn't know how to fucking act or deal with was that my response was also anything that didn't pertain to the prioritization of the things I needed to do and feel became like, I'm not dealing with this. Like, and in a way where like, I don't know, like there was a situation with one of my friends and I was just the quickest I have ever drawn a boundary, because I was just like, I have to deal with A, B, C, and D, whatever. And you as my friend right now, I don't need extra shit. I don't need to give me extra shit. Here's my boundary. Here's what's going to happen. And I got to go. Like, on to the next. And I think that my response to that honestly inspired me and was like, I need to be doing this a little more often, being a little
Mm-hmm.
shorter with beating around the bush, beating, can you please? It hurts my feelings when you do that. It, like, obviously, those are like good conversations to have, but also being like a little more firm in my boundaries and what my expectations are from people and my friends. And the thing is, like, it's not a one-way street. I 100% like expect to get this back from my friends if I'm doing something stupid or I'm doing something shady. Like, I really want people to be able to come up to me and tell me straight up because I like honesty and I don't want to have a friendship, a fake friendship. All right. If you
Mm-hmm.
have some feelings that you're not sharing, for me, like, I know people have different communication styles or whatever, but for me, that's fake because you're coming up to me, telling me everything is cool, and we have an issue. Just fucking tell me the issue, you know? Keep the positive people in your life. Like, maybe sit down and really think about who those people are, and everything else that's bullshit, like, toss that bitch to the side. Like, life is precious. We really don't know how much time we have on this earth, how much the people that you love and treasure have in this earth. So, like, make sure you're spending time with those people and not feeding into bullshit. And you know what bullshit is. Like, you can recognize. I think we talked about, like, that life will tell at you until, like, it's screaming
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. Well, yeah, if you have an inkling of a feeling, oof, this friend is bringing me down, or oof, that situation's not good, I should get out, get out, okay? Like, there's so many better things that are going on in your life that, like, you can make, you can manifest. There's, like, new people to meet, to embrace. You can meet, like, the most genuine person tomorrow and be like, wow, I didn't even know you existed, but let me put some energy and effort into this and let me just close the door on things that are draining me, my life, people are not respecting my boundaries, etc.
I really like that. I think there is so much that we can be. I'm going to say something like super corny, but I've been obsessed with my gratitude every day. I'm listing out everything I'm gracious for. And I was looking back at it and I was like, you know what's not on this list? Doom scrolling on social media. You know what I'm saying? You know what's not on this list? A, B, and C. Right? And then I was like, okay, well, you know what is on this list? These people who I need to make an effort to reach out to. Like, I'm seeing a pattern that I like to be outside and look at the freaking butterflies and bird watch. We're gonna be doing more of that. Um, I will say, like, life can get you down. There's so much shit going on all the time, but the world is not like uniquely against you. This is just like the human
It's
experience.
against everybody.
Yeah, that's literally, it's against everyone. This is like the human experience. And honestly, it kind of sucks that it is the way that it is, but like, baby, get out of like this, like, it's just a really bad place to be to think that the world is uniquely against you. Like, the world has
Get
no,
over
yeah,
yourself.
it just, you just be better off connecting to people that the world equally is raining down on, you know? A lot of people are going through the same shit you're going through. There is support groups for motherfucking everything.
I know. People do really be hyperfixating on, like, everything bad happens to me. If you're doing that, you're literally manifesting more bad things.
And it's just, it also is just the thing that you think it's different, that like, I don't know, it's kind of a tough place to feel that all the bad things are happening because it's you. Like, it's just like that's a bad way to think and go about your life. And it also kind of puts other people's life on a pedestal and kind of others yourself from other human beings. Like, sure, this bad thing happened to you, but it's also happened to hundreds of thousands of millions of other people. And you could either connect with people on that, or you can isolate yourself and say, it's only me. It's not only you,
Like,
babe. Sorry.
it really isn't. I'm sorry, you're not that special. your experience just isn't that unique. Like, it
Yeah.
really isn't. There's so many people in the world. Like, there's dupes. There's dupes everywhere. Okay.
Oh my god. There's, and this funny thing is you know, I think that's something that people comment sometimes on TikToks. Like, I've never had one unique experience. And this girl was talking about her friend having like, she was also has like broke behavior. Like, there's like only behavior that like when you're super broke. And the thing she's gave as an example of her friend was that like her friend would never fill up her car full of gas just in case she totaled it. Like, she wouldn't lose the money in the gas tank. I was literally shitting, crying, throwing up when my car was totaled because I had just filled up the gas tank. And I remember fighting with insurance, like, are you guys going to compensate me for the gas in the gas tank? And the homegirl acted like I was fucking nuts. And I was like, oh my God, like when that happened, I was like, I cannot believe my car was totaled on my birthday with a full tank of gas. Oprah always says how you spend your birthday dictates your year, so my life is gonna be fucking shit this year. Like, oh my God, bitch, get over yourself. Like, you just got in a crash. It happens. Like,
I know.
Here we go.
That's so. Oh my God, yeah. The negative Nellies really be out here in these streets. Okay, I cannot fathom spending that much time thinking the world is against me. Like, there's so many other things to do. Literally, get a hobby. Like, you're gonna be fine. Also, if you spend that much time literally hyperfixating on the fact that like bad things happen to you, like
Flip it
like,
and reverse it, dude, and do it the other way.
look inward. Sometimes it's like bad things happen to me and people suck. And it's like, well, is it a pattern? Are people telling you the same thing about yourself? Is there a reason you like can't move out of this thing because you're repeating your same behavior? Let's look at how we react to people. Let's look at our relationships. I feel like sometimes when the universe really hits you with like thing after thing after thing, it's because it's telling you you need to look at yourself and you need to look at your life and take a step there and see what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and maybe go from there. But you're doing it wrong, okay? Life's supposed to be like kind of fun. Like have a little fun with it, you know? Throw some things around.
And we love a good rebound, a bounce back, just taking life, taking its struggles, and just doing your best and coming back. We love a redemption story, okay? Like, especially on this podcast. So whatever you need to do to use what bad things happen to you and just life shit that happens to you as fuel for your next thing, okay? This bad thing happened. How can I use this to boom, bam, boom, be a better person, live a better life? What lesson did I learn? Okay. Sometimes bad things happen. And like Bernice said earlier, you realize, damn, some of this shit is bullshit. And how can we take that experience and, you know, for a really long time, I said, like, the worst thing that had happened to me was I didn't get into, like, this one college, and at the time, it was, like, devastating. Now I look at it, that's the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine my life if that didn't happen. And there's been things in pivotal moments in my life that were, at the time, they weren't fucking good. They weren't good. They were bad things. Everyone that I talked to about it said, that fucking sucks for you. That's fucking rough. But with a little bit of space and time, realized it wasn't a good thing necessarily, but good things had to come from it. It's a butterfly effect. For every good thing that you have in your life now, something bad has had to happen to you in your past. So kind of try to zoom out when something bad happens and be like, okay, maybe in 5 or 10 years, first of all, I might not even give a fuck about this. I think a lot of times when we're right in the thick of it, we're really going to think that this is like the be all end all. And then 5 years later, we fucking forget, you know, zoom out, gain a little bit of perspective, and figure out how the fuck you're going to move forward.
Trust your intuition. If something happens and your intuition is, I need to cut some people off, I need to do this for myself, this seems productive for me, yo, send it. Like, I remember sitting in my little bed with strep and fucking shingles and feeling the most lonely I've ever felt, ever. And I'm like, I'm literally almost in a relationship. Why do I feel lonely? Why is this person making me feel like the loneliest person ever? Yeah, bitch, I had to get out of there. That man was a liar. So, like, you know, like, life sometimes be telling you things that you don't want to hear, but you kind of gotta accept.
If we always listened to life's whispers, then we wouldn't have these huge fucking megaphones yelling and screaming at us later on. Like, maybe this had to happen because the world is trying to tell you something.
So let's listen to the world. Mm-hmm. Let's appreciate the people in our lives. Let's tell them how much we are obsessed with them, how much we love them, how much we admire them, how much they inspire us when they are present with us, okay? I don't get to see a lot of my friends, but when I do get to see them, I love and I treasure that time. And I'm about to be a poet. I'm becoming a poet. Like, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I love about you, how many times I love about you. I'm about to love bomb all of my friends. Like, I don't know if that's toxic, but like,
We'll yeah, honestly, pick up the phone, give people a call. I think I've always, you never know how long you have, right? With someone or your freaking self, dude. And you just don't know when someone kind of like needs a little bit of love, right? Like there's just people in our life that just need a little love and you might reach out to them and then they'll tell you, you know what? I really needed I'm so good to hear from you. Like I'm having a rough day. And they might not even tell you that, but you just might like you just never know when someone needs a little love. So never be afraid to reach out to your homies, your loved ones, and let them know that you're there for them.
even if somebody just like you fuck with somebody and you don't really know them. Today, something very interesting happened to me because I think I just went off hinge on social media and I was like, let me overshare real quick. And this guy messaged me randomly and goes like, hey, listen, so like I don't think you remember me, but we matched on Tinder when you were in San Francisco like 2 years ago. Was it like no something crazy? And then he was like, anyways, I've been following you, and I feel like I know we've never raved together, but I kind of feel like we've raved together because you're blah blah blah, and you're so creative, and I just wanted to let you know, like, I think you're really cool. And I was just like, and I was like, you chose the right day to send this message. I was like, thank you, I appreciate you. And, this person doesn't know me, but he was just, like, letting me know how he feels about my presence in this earth. And it was fucking amazing. And what I have also realized is that me included, people, we are awkward as fuck, okay? When tragedy strikes, we don't know how to act, including myself. What are you supposed to tell somebody that just lost a family member that's going to make it better? You can't really do anything that's going to make it better. But I have really appreciated people just being like, hey, I know you're going through a rough time. I just want to let you know I'm here for you. That is all that it takes. I got you. Let me know you want to talk. Like, you don't have to do a whole. I don't want you to relate to my drama. I don't want you to relate to what I'm feeling. Just heard. I hope you're doing okay. I love you. And I think, like, sometimes I have missed those where I, like, feel so uncomfortable with the situation that I was like, I don't even know what to say. I don't know how to act. It's not really about us. And I think we need to get over ourselves when that happens, including myself, and say, I'm just here for you.
And honestly, people are usually, like, they got a lot going on. So they probably don't even, like, they might not even respond. Don't take it personally. That's another life pillar. Don't take things too personally. So if you reach out to someone and they don't say anything, they could be going through who the fuck knows. But don't let it deter you from reaching out to them again or reaching out to somebody else.
Exactly. That's all I got.
That's it, babes. Everybody, thank you for listening to this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it, right? God, what a crazy day.
Is life lifing as much as it is for us? Because I feel like everybody's life be lifing right now, okay?
That's the thing. So, that's the crazy thing about life is it's lifing for everybody.
Yeah. So, just enjoy your summer. Love your family members. Tell them we say what's up. Tell them we love them. Tell them to listen to the podcast. Tell them to subscribe.
All the things.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening to this week's podcast. If you can please go follow us on social media. We're at Thanks Number 4 Your Concern. I'm at Bernice Diaz M.
And I'm at Ella L. Tudor.
Wait, before we leave, there is a GoFundMe that I wanna share. This is one's personal. One of my friends' sister-in-law passed away, and she left behind, well, not behind, but still living, her husband and their 3 sons. So they just need a little help, and I will be linking it on my bio, the podcast, Linktree bio, so if you can find the link there, and if you're able to donate or just please share. Thank you!
Thanks! Bye!
Bye!